Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm Meredith Miller and welcome to the Sana Q&As. I've got one more question here today. Just want to remind you, if you'd like to leave a question for the Monday Q&As, the link is below the video in the description. If you have a more personal or more lengthy question, go to my website innerintegration.com and check out my personal email support. I return those within 48 hours with a very comprehensive and personal response for you to your question. Please keep it to one question. I allow you to give me some background information in the form. You'll see when you fill it out. But keep it just to one question, please, for that answer so that I can give you a comprehensive response. If you'd like much more in-depth work, check out my strategy sessions, again, on my website, innerintegration.com. You can buy them one at a piece, or you can buy them in packages and save money that way. And that'll really help you to get through whatever it is you're trying to get validation on, you're still trying to resolve and understand from the past, figure out what the obstacle is that's keeping you from moving forward, and then to start taking steps to move forward. We'll do this process together during a 90-minute Skype session. You're gonna feel so much better. Everybody who has a session with me, by the end of that session, they're like, oh my God, I feel so heard, I feel so validated, I feel like you really get it. I see where I get stuck now, you really hit the nail on the head. I had this revelation and now I have steps that I can start moving forward with. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this question. It says, hey Meredith, I am curious if you know how to allow yourself to dig deep. With therapy, I had this wall that suddenly went back up. I know the topic in therapy is what has triggered this. This is the first time I felt so closed since starting back in therapy. I'm scared to dig deep, scared to truly remember what happened to me. Quite a few flashbacks that I have been refusing to share. I have been doing this whole emotional control on myself for too long, and I don't know how to stop and just feel. How do you dig deep? Allow yourself to feel without judging yourself. Very positive step today towards no contact with the family. Thank you so much for helping me to want to heal. You're the best. Okay, so first of all, I would ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What is the fear that's blocking you from digging deeper in that respect? And my coach taught me there are three kinds of fear. The first kind of fear is the fear of loss. Because, if you do that thing, whatever that thing is, you're going to lose something, right? And what is it that you're afraid of losing if you make that change, if you take that action? The second one is process, so is there some kind of fear you have of the process, that the process will be painful, the process will be lengthy, the process will involve suffering, something of this nature. The third one is the fear of the outcome. So when we make a change in life, things change, right? The results are going to change things for better or for worse. There's going to be some sort of outcome to that. Is that where the fear is? Some kind of fear of what's going to happen if you make that change. So really ask yourself, what is it? Is it the fear of loss? Is it a fear of the process? Is it a fear of the outcome? What in there are you actually afraid of? Identify the fear very, very clearly. What is it that you're so afraid of? And dig for that fear, because that fear is your obstacle. The fear is the obstacle for digging deeper. The fear is the obstacle for sharing those things, with your therapist, for example, even with yourself. Sometimes we don't even really allow ourselves to feel. And the thing is, you have to feel it to heal it. You can't just heal it without feeling it. You have to feel what it is so that you can identify and understand what it is. In order to move beyond something, you have to move through it. And that's what that feeling is. You have to be willing to feel it, as shitty and awful as it might feel, right? Gotta happen. And the healing crisis is when it all comes up, right? So when you go down that road, probably one of your fears is what all is going to come up with that. And knowing by now, doing more of this process, and I know this person's journey, she's been doing a lot of inner work. Knowing this process now, you probably expect that, more is going to come up and it's going to feel really heavy and you're going to have to work through it, right? That's what happens during the healing crisis. So expect that and know that things are coming up to the surface to be healed, to be acknowledged, to be processed, and to be done something about, right? Some action that you can take to do something about it. So courage, right, is the thing. It's the quality that gets you to take that action despite the fear. because courage is about doing something that scares you. Courage is about summoning the inner strength to do something in the face of fear, in the face of doubt, in the face of grief, and being able to summon that courage. And I believe that courage comes from the heart. Even the word courage comes from cœur in French, which means heart, right? And Brené Brown, in her studies on vulnerability, she's a sociologist, I guess, but she does a lot of research work. And what she identified as one of the key components to happiness, like, what is, I interviewed all these people, and she was looking for shame and happiness. And what she realized is that the people who were the happiest in life, who had the least amount of shame, because that's directly related, the people who were the happiest in life were the people who live wholeheartedly, right? It's a risk to open your heart. It's a risk to live wholeheartedly because you could be hurt, right? And so sometimes we might feel like we want to put up walls, we might want to close down to not get hurt. But in not taking that risk, we don't allow ourselves to open into that vulnerability. And that vulnerability is the place where the deeper connection takes place. It's a risk. And it's also the reward of taking that risk, of what could happen. And so embracing everything wholeheartedly, the pain, the joy, all of that together, being wholehearted in our ability to face life and face what shows up, and being willing to be present with the pain, to sit through that pain, to breathe through that pain, and to move through it, because we know we're done with it, because we know we don't want to hold on to it. We don't want to just keep stuffing it down. We actually need to feel it, to process it, to see it, to move through it. So think about a time, right? To connect with that courage. Think about a time in your life when you felt incredibly courageous, like despite all the fear, despite all the odds stacked against you, you were able to, in that moment that was just scaring you shitless, you were able to connect with that sense of courage. Somehow you did, right? Think about that moment. Really put yourself in that moment. Feel the state. Feel what courage feels like. Close your eyes, start breathing, feel what it feels like in your body. Where do you feel that courage in your body? Do you feel this aliveness in your heart? Do you feel something in your muscles? Do you feel something notable in your mind, in your legs? Like, where is it in your body? What does it feel like? Identify it, remember it, and anchor that feeling as your courage barometer. So every time in life when you need to face a big fear, you know that you've done this before. You've summoned the courage before to face enormous fears. So call in that state, start breathing, close your eyes, put yourself in that state when you felt that courage, and then go do whatever that thing is that you're trying to do, that the fear is presently holding you back from doing. And recognize that the happiest people are those who live wholeheartedly, right? Because part of not wanting to look at the pain is feeling like that pain is going to stop you from being happy, which the funniest joke, right, is that the pain stuffed down is actually stopping you from being happy, not being able to bring it up, not being able to process it and deal with it, to talk about it, to move beyond it. That's holding you back from higher levels of happiness in your life. So you have to be willing to get uncomfortable. You have to be willing to pass through the pain in order to get to the other side. You have to. It's the only way, right? It's the only way, because just stuffing it down and avoiding it, it's like the surest path to suffering. It's just going to keep gnawing at you. And so, how to feel, right? If you're at this point where you feel like, you mentioned, you don't even know how to feel it, right? So stop what you're doing. Take away all distractions, close your computer, turn off your cell phone, close your door, make sure no one's gonna bother you, and give yourself the next hour just to be present. No TV, no other distractions. Phone rings, whatever, it's on silent. You're not even gonna hear it. You're not even gonna think about who might be contacting you during that hour. That hour is your hour. And I would set aside this time regularly if this is something that you're really struggling with, getting connected with those feelings, and just sit in a meditation or stand or lay down. But if you're gonna lay down, I would bend your knees so that your feet are flat on the ground and your knees are bent. That way you don't fall asleep. Keeping that tension in your legs will keep you from falling asleep. Some people are just able to go inward a lot easier when they're laying down versus when they're sitting up and holding muscles in their body in a certain way. When they lay down, they can just let go and just start breathing and just start breathing and allow yourself to really feel like what's coming up. What is that? What does it feel like? What does it feel like in your body? What does it feel like in your mind? How would you describe it? Where would you locate it? Where's the epicenter? Okay, if you're dealing with pain, physical or emotional pain, what I've found is that I need to identify the epicenter of that pain. Even if it's an emotional pain, it is anchored in your body somewhere. I will guarantee you there is an area of your body that is resonating with that emotional pain, because it is all one, the body, mind, spirit. It's all one holistic being. So focus on your body and bring your awareness. Where is that epicenter? And that practices this art of awareness of your body, and connecting to your body and really connecting to your feeling, allowing yourself to feel. And then once you identify the epicenter, breathe into it. It's like breathe all of your energy and your awareness into that point and really feel it. Allow yourself to feel it, and keep taking deep breaths and taking deeper and deeper and deeper breaths into that point of epicenter of your pain. And you will see it will transmute. It will start to change. You will come out the other side. The pain will start to lessen its grip on you. The pain is trying to get you to see something. It's a message. Something's not right. Something is disconnected. The pain is reminding you. So in order to create that integration, you have to face it. You have to be willing to feel that pain, to really feel it and be present with it instead of pushing it away or avoiding it, and then once you know what you feel and what it feels like, then ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? And not with judgment, but more with open curiosity. Well, that thing that happened in the past, that was really awful. It was really awful, and that's why I feel this way. Okay, good. Now you know why you feel that way. And then ask yourself, how do I actually want to feel? I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to feel different. How do I want to feel? And then really start to imagine that. What would it feel like to feel like that instead of like this? And really visualize and imagine that. And imagine your life if you felt like that instead of this. Imagine your daily reality if you felt like that instead of this. What are the things you would do? What are the things you would express? Who are the people you would connect with? What kinds of things would you be accomplishing? What people would you be serving? What kinds of things would you be contributing to make this world a better place if you didn't have to feel so much pain, right? And then ask yourself what actions you need to take to get from here to there. And if you don't know the answer, keep asking yourself instead of, I don't know, I just don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. When you repeat this sort of thing, you're reminding yourself that you're powerless and you don't know and you're helpless and the answer is not going to come. But if you ask a question, an empowering question instead, what can I do to change this? What is one step that I can start taking right now to feel better? What can I do to change this? That is an empowering question. Maybe the answer doesn't come immediately. Maybe the answer comes later today, later tonight, while you're taking a shower, while you're doing the dishes, while you're walking the dog, or just suddenly spontaneously out of the middle of nowhere, tomorrow, down the week, it comes to your mind, and there it is, and write it down. Because when you have those sudden moments of lucidity, those fleeting revelations and insights can be quickly forgotten. So when you have those, write it down or record it in your voice notes in your phone or something so that you don't forget. Put down the date and the time too. That can be really validating down the road, to journal that kind of stuff and then to look back at it and see what you can learn from it. And just keep remembering, every time you meet that resistance inside yourself, I don't want to go there. That hurts. That's painful. That sucks. I don't want to go there. Keep reminding yourself that if you want to feel better, you're going to have to feel it. You're going to have to be willing to sit with it, to feel it in order to heal it. It's just the nature of things, and you can do it. And it is so worth it. It's so worth it to reintegrate yourself, to come back out the other side. Just being willing to be present with those feelings, with the pain, it'll help you find the solutions so that you can start taking action to have a different reality in your life, to have the kind of happiness and wholehearted living that you might be looking for in your life. So I'm sending you a big hug.